Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, let's continue the list of the definition of terms. Now we come to the most important term actually, which is the title of our course, Phonetics and Phonology. Now, the science that studies the speech sounds is called Phonetics and Phonology, and it is divided into two divisions. The first is phonetics and the second is phonology. And what is the difference between these two definitions? Now, if we come to phonetics, it is the science that studies the speech sounds, articulation, perception, and the transmission. So it includes three constituents or three elements. Phonetics actually focuses on how speech sounds are articulated. What are the organs of speech that are responsible for sound production? So it is called articulatory phonetics, as you see here. And phonetics also focuses on studying how we perceive speech sounds. How do we understand the sounds that are transmitted and reach our ears? How can we understand the message behind these sounds? How the brain processes these sounds as spoken by people? What are the message behind them? What is the meaning? So it studies the perception or the realization of speech sounds. This is auditory phonetics. The third element or the third part of phonetics is related to analyzing the physical properties of sound waves. Now, all the speech that we utter, all the sounds that we pronounce, they are actually sound waves, and they have specific physical properties like pitch, intensity, areas of energy like formants for vowel sounds, and so on and so forth. So all these properties or these features or characteristics are studied within acoustic phonetics. Again, phonetics generally is defined as the science that studies the speech sounds, but if you want to know which areas within phonetics or within any sound system phonetics focuses on, it focuses on articulation, or we can say sound production, how the organs of speech work together, which movements they make to produce the sounds that we hear. This is articulatory phonetics. And then how can we perceive these sounds or the spoken sounds or the spoken messages? This is auditory phonetics. And what are the physical properties of these of the sound waves representing every spoken message in the air? What are the physical features of these sound waves? All this is studied within the third part, which is called acoustic phonetics. Now, phonetics is considered as universal because we can study whatever sound we hear around us. It doesn't relate to a specific sound system. For example, I can study the sound system or the sounds of Arabic, the sounds of Chinese, the sounds of Spanish, the sounds of Italian, the sounds of Turkish. Any sound system or any sound in the world, any sound around us in our environment could be studied within the principles and the theories of phonetics. So accordingly, phonetics is considered universal. It is non-language specific. It is different from the second part of the science that studies speech sound, which is phonology. Phonology is language specific. We take a particular sound system and focus on it, or study it, or analyze it, or analyze the elements of that particular sound system. So phonology is the science that studies the speech sounds of a particular language or the sounds that belong to a particular language. For example, now we are studying the sound system of English. We can also analyze the sound system of Arabic, of our mother tongue. Now, what are the items or the aspects that could be studied within phonology? first of all, it starts with segmental features of a particular sound system, like sounds, phonemes, how these sounds are distributed, what are the rules that govern the distribution of sounds within words or within syllables. All this is called what? Segmental features. So this could be studied within phonology. Now, since we are studying the English sound system or the phonology of English, we need to know the sounds in that sound system and how the sounds of English are distributed in larger phonological units like syllables, words, phrases, sentences, and so on and so forth. Okay? And all the rules that govern, that control the distribution of sounds in these larger units. So these are the suprasegmental features of a given sound system like English or Arabic, okay, which could be studied within phonology. We also can study what suprasegmental features of a particular sound system. What do these include? They include, for example, stress placement, which by stress we mean which syllable is pronounced or which part of a word is pronounced more prominently than other or than other syllables in the same word or in other words within the same phrase or sentence. We can also we can also study rhythm and intonation, the melody we give to our sentences spoken in English language, of course, since we are studying the English sound system. So these are the segmental and suprasegmental features which could be studied within phonology. And since we are saying most of the time that we are focusing, for example, on the English sound system, then phonology is language specific. We are focusing on a particular sound system like English. So it is related to one language, to a specific language. We cannot say that phonology is universal. So this is the main difference between phonetics and phonology. Phonetics is universal, it's general, while phonology it is non-universal, it is language specific. This is phonology. It is language specific. We need to focus on a particular sound system that belongs to a particular language. Now, we come to sorry, we come to sound transcription. Now, if we try to write down our ideas, our thoughts, we use letters and we write long paragraphs on paper. But what if we want to represent sounds? Do we use letters? Of course, no. We use something different. Certain marks, which are called symbols, or phonemic or sound symbols. So we use symbols for visual representation of sounds. We use symbols to represent sounds on paper. And there are two ways or two different types of sound transcription. It is either phonemic transcription or phonetic transcription. Now, phonemic transcription, we are just using the phoneme symbol itself without adding any other details, okay? While in phonetic transcription, we need to add more details to the transcription. For example, when we pronounce dentalized se, okay? Dentalized se for people who pronounce it with a little distortion. It's not fully se sound. Okay, it is dentalized by using the teeth, especially the upper front teeth, or sometimes we nasalize vowel sounds, yeah, yeah, by using the nose or expelling the flow out of the nose, which is quite abnormal. We need to pronounce all vowel sounds with the flow of coming out of the mouth. So these are nasalized vowel sounds, which is also considered as kind of distortion in English, because in English sound, or an English sound system, all vowels are produced with the flow coming out of the mouth, sorry, not the nose. So there are certain marks or diacritics which are used to show details about the way we pronounce phonemes, or more detail, giving more details, more explanation, more illustration about how these sounds are pronounced. Another example, you know, in English, we have a lateral consonant le. We have one realization of le as clear le or light le, and the other one is dark le, le. And there is also what a diacritic that we put on the symbol of phoneme le to show that this is pronounced as dark and the other one is pronounced as light. Another example is syllabic consonants. We use that little circle below the phoneme symbol to show that this is syllabic consonant and it is pronounced in a certain way with the vowel included within the consonant. Sorry, with a short vertical line below the phoneme symbol. I'll show you that shortly at some time when we take our lectures in classroom. We also have what devoiced sounds like consonants or vowels occurring after p, t, and k, where we use the diacritic, a little circle below the symbol, to show that this phoneme becomes devoiced and frictionized at the same time, especially when it occurs after p, t, and k. So again, these diacritics or these marks added to the phoneme indicates that this is phonetic transcription rather than phonemic transcription. So in phonemic transcription, we use only the symbol of the phoneme, while in phonetic transcription, we use the symbol plus other marks to give more details, more analysis, more explanation of the same phoneme or the way the phoneme is pronounced. Now we come to the basic unit found in any sound system. It is the phoneme. And it is the most important unit in any sound system. It is the smallest unit which changes meaning and help us to study the sound system of a given language or of a particular language. So a phoneme is the smallest unit in any sound system which help us study, analyze, describe, understand the sound system of a specific language. And at the same time, it is very important because it changes meaning. So first, it helps us to study or understand a sound system of a specific language. And at the same time, it is very important because it changes meaning. So it is considered as a contrastive unit. In English, we have 44 phonemes. 24 of them are consonants, and the rest are vowels. And of course, consonants are of different types and vowels are also of different types. Now, talking about consonants, specifically consonants, we have some consonants which are pronounced in different ways when they occur in certain contexts. What does that mean? Some phonemes have degrees of pronunciation. Example, if we take the letter S, which gives us the phoneme se, se. Now, se, when occurring at the end of the word, it is pronounced in 3 different ways. It is either pronounced as se, or z, or is. What makes se sound pronounced in these 3 different ways? It depends on the previous phonetic context or the previous sound. Now, it is pronounced s if it occurs after voiceless consonant, like in looks, pets, tips. It is pronounced as z when it occurs after vowels or voiced consonants. Tree, trees. Come, comes. I didn't say comes, I said comes. And it is pronounced is after 6 consonants. Sh, j, 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 s, and z. So after these 6 consonants, it is pronounced is. Example. Size, sizes. Price, prices. Church, churches. Garage, garages. Marsh, marshes. Judge, judges. So after these 6 consonants, it is pronounced is. Now, the point is this. We have 3 different ways of pronouncing se. Every way of pronunciation or every shade of the se sound cannot occur in the place of another realization. What does that mean? Example. When we said after a vowel, se is pronounced z, like tree, which is ending with the long vowel e. It is pronounced trees. I can't say trees, trees. Why? Because the previous sound is a vowel sound. So after a vowel, it is pronounced z. In this context, in this phonetic context, I cannot pronounce se sound as se. Trees. This is incorrect. Why? Because the previous sound is a vowel sound. In another example, like the word put, P-U-T, put, it is puts, puts. I can't say puds, it is puts, puts, because the final consonant before se is te, which is a voiceless consonant. So this is what? This is an exclusive position for se to be pronounced rather than ze. While in the previous word, which is trees, I cannot say trees because this position is what? Is booked for ze realization of se sound. This is the exclusive phonetic position for ze sound, as the previous sound is vowel sound. So these 3 realizations, these 3 degrees of se sound, these 3 shades of se sound, these 3 allophones of se sound are said to be in exclusively complementary distribution. That one allophone cannot take or occur in the place of another allophone. This is what is meant by exclusively complementary distribution. So allophone, accordingly, could be defined as what? A set of sound variants, sound degrees, sound shades of a single phoneme. So if we take se sound or se phoneme as an example, it has 3 allophones, se, z, and is. Allophones are what? Various or multiple pronunciations of the same phoneme or belonging to the same phoneme.